So hey guys, I really wanted to talk to you about what it's like, to be bipolar for me. This isn't like a medical or anything. This is just my point of view and based on my own experience. So I'm gonna be talking about what it meant to be bipolar to me, right? Because I didn't know what it was. I didn't know anyone that had it. So before I was diagnosed, my first symptoms were really just really extreme mood changes, and I think started when I was like 11 to have these like really vicious mood swings where I would be like normal, then mad, then sad, then all of the above, and then super tired, and changes in my sleep patterns, changes in my energy, my focus, memory problems, physical symptoms as well. My doctor, when my mom took me, because I was really worried that something else was going on mentally instead of physically. So my doctor, for the longest time, told me and told my mom that I was just being a little bit dramatic, that I was going just through puberty like everyone else. But I had a really hard time, believing that because none of my friends were going through the same thing. None of my friends were, sometimes hearing voices because I actually like not voices, just like myself, but like a very aggressive myself. And I thought something was wrong. I thought I would have anger management problems. I thought I might be depressed. I didn't know what bipolar was. So, he just said, "Oh, you're being dramatic. You're just going through puberty like everybody else." And that was that. I really never went to seek any other like professional help because my mom said, "Hey, the doctor says that you're fine, just gonna get over it once you get through this hormone changes," which it was a lie. They never went away. The mood swings. The other thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Oh yeah, what I thought was really happening to me, like I said, I thought I was having anger management problems. I thought that I was maybe a little bit crazy because I, you know, we're was feeling so bad for so long, and I was exhausted physically, mentally. I really didn't fit in. I just didn't want to talk to anyone. I started just spending a lot of time with myself, by myself, doing the things that I liked. But it was really hard for me. I remember like the frustration that I felt because I didn't know. I knew something was wrong, but nobody would listen to me. So I was frustrated. Mental health isn't something that you get taught at anywhere, and up until now, it hasn't been taken like a serious thing. So like I said, I thought I was going crazy. I thought something was wrong. When I was finally diagnosed, which was really late, it was when I was 20. I'm 34. So I was kind of late. I went to like the psychiatrist because I really told my mom, "Listen, mom, I really think something's wrong with me, and I just can't explain it, and I cannot keep this because I feel like I'm going to destroy myself at some point because I was doing a lot of impulsive things, spend money that I couldn't spend even though I had it, just hooking up with people, just like being very impulsive. If I didn't like you, I would just plain out being a total fucking asshole, just say it to your face with no provocation whatsoever. And once I knew what I had, I felt like instant relief and validation, followed by horrible consuming fear because I didn't know what bipolar meant. The doctor explained it to me, and what he said was like, "This is like a trial and error. We're gonna give you medication to see which combination works best for you. So it's gonna take time. It's nothing instant." But more than that, he just like, I think like he had it memorized what the definition of bipolar meant. The only thing he said, "You're type 1." That's it. And just like the overall explanation of how I might feel or how I will feel and how I will feel with the treatment. So that was a little crazy. I was on and off my meds because once I started to feel okay, I would just say I don't need them anymore and just stop and then just make a complete mess again. And that was the pattern that I was going. But it was more like because I didn't feel like I was being treated as a human. I was just being given pills to treat the symptoms and keep me contained, right? Okay, so the medication that I was given, through my whole thing, not just in the beginning, was lithium, the highest dosage from the start, 2 times a day, and I was taking Depakote, lithium, Ambien, Zoloft, Lunesta at some point, Clonopin, Seroquel, among others. I was also taking something for my. I have a arrhythmia, so my heart beats a little bit faster and out of rhythm. But with the medication, that will go even higher. So I had hand tremors all the time. I couldn't like write. I couldn't pick things up. I dropped things a lot. That's one of the worst symptoms that I had. So I had to take another thing to lower my blood pressure, so I wouldn't feel that much. But they were still shaking at some points. Uh, um, when I was, first with the whole medication, I felt so that I had lapses in my memory, that I was losing time. I always felt like heavy, like there was something on top of me weighing me down even more so. I started to lose interest in everything that I actually loved doing, like painting, sketching, writing, surfing, you know, just life became dull for me, and I felt like I was just turning into a shell of what it was for the longest time. And I was actually sleepwalking. I when I was a kid, I had really bad dreams, and I'm not dreams. I had night terrors, so I had a really hard time discerning which. When I wake up, I feel like the dream was real. I have the same emotions, and it always takes me time, like an hour or so, to just understand that it was just a dream and it didn't happen. So that got like skyrocketed to like the moon, the god level of night terrors. I was also sleepwalking. The Ambien made me hallucinate, so I couldn't take that. And then they gave me Lunesta, that also gave me hallucinations. I was another Depakote gave me like really bad migraines, and I was having hair loss and really bad gain weight and gain loss. I mean, loss of weight as well. And the physical symptoms that I was feeling is that I was really heavy. I had back knee, always at weight and gain loss, numbness in my body and sometimes pain. I remember that when I take my pills at night, I felt like someone was like rubbing my feet with a feather, so I couldn't stood still what I was trying to. That's what they call it restless leg syndrome. So that was really annoying because you were trying to sleep, you're annoyed, you feel like someone's like tickling you on the bottom of your feet, which I hate tickles. They piss me off. And that was a really bad time. And but after I got the right combination, I started to see improvements in everything from mood and behavior, like 2 months, well, 2.5 months after in the treatment. And what if I started to feel like no, not that much stress, that I could concentrate better, that I could actually remember things of my day. And but that's only when the levels are at the right point, because you have to check your blood work. You have to do blood work monthly to check the lithium levels on your blood. And when they were at the exact right amount, I was doing great. But if they were a little bit too high, I would like lose time. Didn't remember shit most of the time. I still don't remember shit most of the time. But that's like a thing that happened to me. Like I said, it took me like almost about 3 months to start seeing change. With the right medication of that I had. Um, how this affected me socially. I remember that I started to lose interest in the things that I loved doing. I didn't wanna hang out with my friends anymore. My type of bipolar, I experience things like I'm a raw nerve, but it's more like a sensory thing. I get overwhelmed by sounds, light, smells, you know, every situation. I tend to like see things that are not there when I'm manic. Like if I can feel like the shift in energy with people. So if you're always like super nice to me, and one day maybe you're having just a bad day, but you know I think that you're mad at me, and that starts to eat me up and eat me up, and and I start to ask you if there's anything wrong, and I keep doing it to the point that you actually get mad at me. And then I'm like, I knew that you were mad, you just didn't want to tell me. And they explain, I'm not mad at you, it's just that you keep insisting that there's something wrong when there isn't. And I get it, that's my way of doing things, and I need to change that, by the way. That's not that fun as you would think. Let me see what other thing I wrote down here, because I didn't want to get off topic and I didn't want to make this too long. I felt like, I had to try something different, and but it was actually after I had a car accident. I remember that I took one. I was really feeling bad for a few weeks with the medication. I wasn't feeling, positive anything effects. So I remember that I was having a lot of panic attacks at work. And one day I took a clonopin at work, which I usually do, but never really did anything. But that day was completely different. Maybe something was wrong with the medication, or that day, I don't know, for whatever reason, I acted differently. So I don't remember anything from that day, like from 1 p.m., which when I took that medication, actually at 12. But I don't remember anything after one. And I had a car accident where I like crashed and totaled my car, and I don't remember anything about the car crash. I don't remember who I hit, where was the accident at. But my mom told me that I was like almost an hour away from my house, and it made no sense. I don't remember anything, and I could have killed someone, or kill myself, because of the medication. Because at that point, I felt like my doctors were just giving me medication to treat the symptoms. So that made me stop. So I spoke to my doctor. And again, this is my experience. I'm not recommending that you do this. I spoke to my doctor because I wanted to switch to cannabis, something that was natural. And I just really wanted to try something else, because, I wasn't eating well. I wasn't sleeping well. I was like in physical pain, mental pain. I felt exhausted. I felt like out of options. And when I finally switch, I usually eat edibles or smoke it, or there's like a lot of things that you can do with cannabis, which really helps me out instantly. For example, when I get panic attacks, I can either use a pen, or I can the pen is the concentrate THC, or I can just smoke some of the flower, and I immediately feel like my body is relaxed and I don't feel the stress. It also helps me eating, because I feel nauseous most of the time, and it helps me be focused. When I take it, when I want to have fun, I'm fucked up like everyone else when they're high. But when I'm at work, I use the dosages as I microdose it, so it's not that strong, and I'm more focused. I feel like myself. I don't feel like I'm a shell. I don't feel like I am just like zoning out and just not being there. Because I remember that while I was on my meds, I never remember anything. And people would like, I remember when we had this party, and I'm like, I was there. People like, you never remember shit. And I remember that was like the hardest thing, because I thought that I was just on autopilot, because I didn't remember shit any and most of the time, right? And when I did, I had to like keep asking for details, and finally something lifted in my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember now. So yeah, that was like what the really messed up part about everything. But I'm doing so much better. This is the longest, well, not the longest time, well, yeah, actually not, well, I got fired because of the whole pandemic thing. But I was 2 years working in the same company. I've never been more than 6 months in the same job, because I get fired all the time, because I lose it, the medication. They don't know that I have bipolar, and when they do, they don't even understand. And I behaved in ways that I'm not particularly proud of. But that's something that I can't change really. But I'm working on myself and trying to help others. If I can at least reach one person and make them feel less alone, because let me tell you something, for me, bipolar has really meant loneliness for the longest of time. And this is the first time that in my life that I have actually understood that I don't want to die. I don't want to end my life. I just wanted this whole confusing 13 years, 14 years of being with bipolar, well, after, diagnosed, that I'm feeling myself again. I do the things that I love doing. I get along with people so much better now, and I bipolar also meant for me for the longest time loneliness. I was surrounded by so many people, but yet I was so alone because I could never really connect with anyone anymore. Because I was so close to myself. I closed all my doors, all my windows, every access to me. I even felt that I lost the ability to feel love for someone else until I met Robert. So, it's a journey that I had. It has been a really tough journey, but guys, I can say that I'm finally happy. And what I was going for, when I thought that I would just really wanted to die, and I would imagine like crazy shit, like I had cancer, something that I would die without committing suicide and doing that to my family. In my head, it made fucking sense that it would be way better if I just had cancer and died. I would pray to God just to give me cancer. Honestly, I'm not proud about that, but I never understood that I really didn't want it to die. I just wanted the pain to end, and I realized that when I was in the hospital a few weeks ago. I was in a lot of pain, and I was on morphine like for the first 4 days, and I never once said I wanted to die. I only said I want the pain to go away, and something clicked in my head. I've never wanted to die. I understand that. I was in so much pain, and I wanted the pain to stop. That was that was the real reason behind me not wanting to be here anymore. Guys, I hope that you find this insightful and it really helps you out. I hope that at least this helps one person. So if you can share this video, so maybe people, just to raise awareness, it would be amazing. Guys, I love you, and I'm always here if you need me. #never alone, guys. Love you.